Top story tonight, just like any other night, AAA gaming continues to struggle. Rising budgets, risk-averse design, and disaster. This just in, I am standing outside currently what used to be a AAA gaming studio. As we see, into a live service apology for
No. Most gamers' first introduction to gaming starts with big AAA games. From developing night terrors facing whatever the fuck Nintendo thought was kid-friendly, to the 8-phase boss fight in Kingdom Hearts with no checkpoint in between. AAA games in its heyday created a lot of cool and unforgettable memories in the impressionable minds of gamers. They went from these industry juggernauts capable of fitting entire magical worlds into a single disc, to now where the only magic they pack is whether the 150GB file you downloaded has a functioning game. Yes! 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 I made it to the title screen! But this year has been an especially good year for the AAA hater community. AAA has been shamed in front of the whole nation like Jada invited them to the red table for a chat. We are officially in the good timeline. Triple ass is dying, dunk views are back, that weather-loving neighbor is finally dead, the satellite just landed right on his head. It's all glory days from here. Now mind you, there's never enough hate you can send companies like Ubisoft. You know, one of the first tests of entering into God's eternal embrace is by cursing and sending hate towards companies like this. You're tested on that. And you gotta do it like you really mean it. You know, you gotta look through the brows, kind of go like this. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, I hate you, I hate you. Then God accepts you. But right now, in this video, I want to go into how indie games beat the AAA in 2025. Fuck yeah. Good timeline.
Wait, hold on. I see something. Is that? This is unbelievable. I am hesitating believing what my eyes are looking at, but it appears to be indie games descending from the skies. This is truly a monumental moment in the history of the world.
2025 has been an amazing year for games. And I think what makes it even better is the fact that most of the games that were captured by the internet came from indie games. And I think there's a pretty good reason for this. In our time where games are infinitely more easier to make as opposed to in the prime coffee era, it's a lot easier to just add mechanics into a game. Just start piling shit up that doesn't even make sense to have. You just end up having bloated games. And I think AAA fell for this issue. Now, I'll be honest, for a while, I thought it was pretty cool to have that too. It was kind of cool to see someone Assassin Creeding and then building a base right after. For some reason, it just felt kind of neat having all of that in one single narrative. Maybe because it's so overdone. These days, all of those extra mechanics just start to sound like noise. Because the scope of some of these games have gotten wider than my waistline here, you're just kind of left wanting something more from each mechanic. Like, dude, I don't need a farmland saga in every single game I play, dude. I'm still not done killing people. Can I go back to that, please? I have enemies. I have enemies. What are you gonna do, huh? I have them. A lot of them. I can't remember a recent game where I've been so immersed into it because I can build a base and be a mercenary. I beat the main guy. Yes! Now I can go pluck my tomatoes. Most games recently have caught my attention because of the depths of their mechanics. And this is where the indie devs have a huge advantage. Most of them don't have the resources to even go for the all-in-one game style. So instead of being allured and seduced by all the different mechanics they could include in their game, they focus on one core idea and put as much detail into that idea as they can. They're going all in on the hand they're playing, and that's the best way to make games.
I didn't like that at all.
As someone who loves games and tries to play games from all different kinds of genres, the games that I get interested in buying are the ones that sell me on a fantasy they're trying to deliver. You know, what narrative am I as a player experiencing? Am I pulling off a coup of a corrupt kingdom in a world filled with magic? Or am I a guy building his drug empire? I think this is an important concept that the AAA has seemed to gone to the mistwoods on this, alright? But I think that concept boils down to what fantasy does the player get to live out if they play your game? And how can you know what fantasy to deliver if you're not a fan of that fantasy itself? The directors of LLIIIIVVVEE and E33 were in an interview together and they were asked the question, what advice do you have for new up-and-coming developers to pursue the same path you guys did? And look at what they said here.
게이머로서 좋아하는 게임을 만들고 싶어 하는지 아니면 진짜 즐거운 경험을 하고 있는지
I agree with that 200%.
Yeah.
And really just think about it. How do you know what aspects of being a Jedi you want to include in a game? If you're not a fan of the idea of playing as a Jedi itself, you know, it's as simple as that. What fucking idea is in your head that you're trying to get out, huh? That you're trying to have in a game? What is that idea? Make that! And you can see this idea of delivering the experience of a fantasy start to take shape as you build your game. The idea of packaging a type of fantasy into a thing isn't just used in video games, it's used across entertainment, movies, animes, shows, anything. And for a while, the types of fantasies that AAA games gave
I had an affair with my mother-in-law.
were adopted from movies. A buddy drama or comedy movie with an adventure, a globe-trotting adventurer uncovering lost cities at the end of the world. These types of fantasies were usually used in entertainment media with lesser interactivity. The fantasies sold in games were usually experienced through the gameplay mechanics, like the old God of War games. As you went shoo and you felt like a man bigger than the world. This is not to say the new God of War games don't do this, it's just they do it more through the story than the gameplay itself. And that's what I mean, video games are a lot more special at delivering that because video games have something all other forms of media don't. You guys know by now that nerds want to research everything, right? Like, oh, I wonder why this guy plays games, huh? Why is it that they would play games? Why wouldn't they just like math and research instead like us? I wonder why that happens. I wonder why people don't just like going to work selling Fruit Loops over the phone after going 40K into student debt for a degree that just got ruined overnight. Why would they like games? That doesn't make any sense, dude. What the fuck? Having said that, I came across a pretty cool study here. All right. Self-determination theory. A psychological framework that talks about how people get invested in a topic and what are those factors that get them so invested. The theory argues there are three main drivers that get people's brains to go wah-wah and boost their intrinsic motivation, which leads to further enjoyment with an activity. In a study done by Ryan, Rigby, and Perskulski, the three bros wanted to measure whether self-determination theory was involved in making gamers like games. So they asked gamers to get out of their little hidey holes and show up for a test without a fedora. The gamers were asked to play in 30 to 60 minute segments, after which they were asked to fill out a questionnaire that would help them measure the three different factors of self-determination theory. The questionnaires would have a statement like, I felt free to play how I want. For autonomy, I felt capable and effective. For competence, and lastly, I felt emotionally connected for relatedness. Relatedness being how people feel in relation to others. Ew. They found that most people who reported high on I felt free to play how I want and I felt capable and effective were shown to have more intrinsic motivation while playing a game. But why is autonomy and competence so important to liking a game? In Nakey Jakey's video on The Last of Us 2, he mentions how as he was playing through the story, all of the decisions the main character Ellie had to make were pretty tough, but he never felt the depth of those decisions. And I think it comes down to this very simple point. If you can't control the decisions that occur, the decisions made don't matter as much. And rubbing it in the face of the player who didn't make the decision is like, oh, don't you see this dog dying? Oh, it's so sad, right? It's so sad. Are you gonna cry, huh? It's so sad, bro. You're not gonna cry? It's kind of sad, bro, right? Oh my God, Will Smith's hugging his dog as he's dying. If you want players to feel the same feeling that Ellie's feeling, that she made a mistake, then let them make that mistake. And I think this idea of autonomy and competence ties directly into the idea of selling a fantasy with your game. When we look at Schedule 1, they're selling the idea of skating around your neighborhood and building your drug empire. And to accomplish your transition from the meanest dude, skater type dude, into this businessman drug lord who is only acting, they give you mechanics that let you do it your own way. like mixing, you know? You start mixing up the different strains and you create a new drug and you're like, yo, here, take this for free this time, but next time, I'm telling you, you'll want it even more. Like Aladdin here. You are the one who mixes and creates bad products and eventually learns to create good products. You are the one cooking it up, all right? So you're learning how to make drugs. This is legal? And that's the point. Video games have the capability of giving you access to a whole new world and also letting you steer the ship in that world. Yet too many of the choices in the AAA games give you some stupid, dumb fuck choices that don't even matter in some gay-ass side mission that nobody wants to even play. Like, dude, what the fuck happened to this Titan, man? Well, what's going on? Which is why I think the main reason the indies won so big this year is because they let you become the man who rolls. Alright, anyways, let me know what y'all thought. If you agree or disagree, let me know. Alright? Peace.